The Haikelite SC26 is a new light utilizing a 26-650 battery format as well as the hard-to-find 26-350 battery with this optional short tube. It comes in 5 different exterior colors and 4 LED options. Thanks to Banggood for sending this to me to review. Let's take a look at this interesting little light. There isn't much to be said about Haikelite's packaging. It's really just a cardboard box with a Haikelite logo sticker on the outside. Inside, the light ships in padded foam, as you'll see. Accessories, you get the short tube, you get a pocket clip that works best on the long tube, you get some O-rings, and a pretty good manual. So here is the light in its long configuration, using a 26-650 battery that I had on hand. The light is constructed from aluminum alloy and is available in 5 different colors of anodizing. Blue, which I have here, silver, black, teal, and a tan. The anodizing on my blue SC26 doesn't quite match here, and it's hard to show on camera. But the body tube, the end cap here, look like they match, but the main tube and center rear tube are a little bit lighter in color. I like this blue, it's a nice color, but I just wish things were a little bit more even. The tail cap here is pretty small. It's got a really big beefy spring in it that we'll take a look at. The body tube itself has kind of got this, it's not very aggressive knurling, it's pretty flat. The pocket clip really only goes on right here, which means it's a tip up carry, which is kind of odd. It doesn't fit on the back there, and it is pretty stout. The head of the light here has some nice milling for heat sinks put in. Little spots where it looks like almost tritium tubes would fit. Then you've got a electronic button here with LED backlighting to go blue and red. And then at the top is the lens, and you can see the LED emitter. It's a smooth lens, and this light really comes apart pretty easily. Here's my example of that pretty thick, heavy spring. You can see the threads here. They are Acme cut, and unfortunately they were pretty dry on my example, no lubrication. And then looking at the circuit board on top here, on the back end you can see it's not conformally coated or anything, it's just a circuit board with components and a pretty stiff spring as well. A clip does come with this light, but it only fits in the larger configuration and only for tip up carry, lens up carry. Due to the thickness of this light, I don't consider it really a front pocket EDC or something I want to put on a belt loop, but it'd be fine in a jacket pocket or bag. I'd like to see a spot for a lanyard here because I just like the way this thing fits in the hand. It's fairly small, even in the bigger configuration, but I wish I had that lanyard spot. So I measured the total length with the long tube at 124.4 millimeters. With the short tube, it was 85 millimeters. Diameter at its greatest is 35.3 millimeters, and at its narrowest is 32.1. Weight with a 26-650 battery and the long tube, obviously with no clip, is 211.3 grams. No water rating was given, but it has O-rings and it seems to be reasonable for most uses. I wouldn't want to dive with this light. And just a little size comparison here. I've got an MSR D4, pretty popular light. It's just a little bit longer than that and quite a bit thicker, as you can see here. And then I've got an Olight R50 Seeker. You can see the R50 is just a little bit longer than the Haikelite. This light's using a Cree XHP 35 LED and is available as the HD or HI variants. Mine is the HI variant, which means it has a dome over the emitter itself. Mine is in the neutral white color. And this light has quite a bit of Cree rainbow effect. For me, it's most noticeable in the hot center of the light. Even though there's a definite donut at distance, I notice it. I find the direct center to be the warmest white, and then it cools off on the outside rings and outside from the center. The light has a nice fade to flood, and the tint, as I said, cools off as you go through that. And I found that tint shift to be most noticeable in non-turbo modes. Here are my night shots for the Haikelite SC26. And it's raining, so we got a little bit different setup tonight, and can't quite get out and see the distance this light's capable of, but you'll get a good idea from this. So here we are on low, And you can see that nice big blue button on that light. Low, this is like 22 lumens. Does a nice job at hitting that neighbor's fence and even lighting up their little shed there. And this light has ramping UI, so if I just press, it comes on, and it blinks there to let you know you're on turbo. So we can see those trees that we're used to seeing. This is just from my deck location, kind of tucked underneath the house. This is the neutral white version. This is the Cree XHP35 HD LED. You can see in that tree, that hot center, and you can kind of see there's a ring around that, and it's dimmer on the inside. That's kind of the effect that I'm getting here. This light does have some Cree rainbow. You can see the fairly sharp cutoff there. But again, this ramping UI is pretty nice. You can come down, you can double click to go to turbo. So you're on here. You can see that donut shape there pretty well. But if I double click to go to turbo and then double click again, it'll go back to where I was. I like that feature of it. So again, here is turbo with the Haikelite SC26 in neutral white. For my runtime tests, I used a Keep Power 4500 milliamp hour protected 26650 battery. My overall runtime I thought was pretty impressive at 350 minutes from turbo. This long time really distorts my graph here, but it does run at about 30% output, which is somewhere near 7,000 lumens. When the power gets low, the light does some flashing with the emitter to let you know that it's about out of power, and this button here changes color from blue to red blinking. Turbo mode lasted for about 1.5 minutes before stepping down with my battery, and turbo mode is thermally controlled, but with a timer too. Thermal mode is configurable, and I used a fan to cool my light during my runtime tests. The UI, this light uses a ramping UI, which I like. And let me just kind of go through that. So the light's on, I just kind of hold here, and it's slowly getting brighter, brighter, and there it flashed to let you know you're at the top mode. And I just press again, and it starts decreasing. It does have kind of this firefly mode that's about 22 lumens, hard to see on camera. Mode rating is 21 to 2050 lumens. To get to turbo with the light on, you just double click, and you're at turbo. You can double click again to go back to where you were, which is a nice feature. And the ramping UI just works by, as I was saying, click and hold. You find a level you like. Oh, it's too bright. You click and hold again. It decreases, and you get to the level that you like. This light also offers configurable thermal protection between 44 and 45 and 55 degrees Kelvin. If you don't like the ramping light mode, this light also offers 5-group mode UI that you can switch into. Make sure you check the manual or Banggood's product listing for how to change that. I personally like the ramping, so that's where I'm going to leave it. The light does have lockout in the UI, and when the light is on, you double click following by a long press to get the light into lockout. Repeat to unlock, and this isn't my favorite method with a ramping UI because you're long pressing a lot. It's easy to put the light into lockout if you double click to go to turbo and then you want to adjust down. So batteries are an interesting thing with this light. The light's able to run off 26650 batteries, which is what I did for all my testing. It can also run on two 26350 batteries with that long tube, or with this included short tube here, you can run a 26350 battery. The problem is finding high quality 26350 batteries. They do exist, but they're hard to find and are really kind of from unknown brands or no branding at all. Mountain Electronics carries some of these, but brands not mentioned, and I didn't have one to review. Banggood has a battery as well, but again, no brand, and I didn't have one and didn't want to wait for one to arrive. I don't like the safety aspect of using lithium batteries from an unknown manufacturer unlabeled. Hopefully some 26350s from a known manufacturer will hit the market if this size becomes more popular. It's also worth noting that this light has a battery level indicator via this button. When it's greater than 3.6 volts, it'll be blue. Less than 3.6 volts, it will flash blue, or flash red, sorry, and below 3 volts, it'll flash red. So for me, the pros of this light are, I like that it has 5 color choices and 4 emitter choices, including neutral white. I like the ramping firmware and backlit button, but the firmware could be just a little bit faster, and I'd like to see lockout revised. I haven't found this light to turn on in my pocket or anything like that to be of trouble. I like the size and feel of this light in my hand, as well as that large, tall switch. And I like that it has a large, stiff spring, but it does cause just a little bit of rattle in the battery tube with my battery. Cons are, there are not a lot of high quality sources for 26350s right now. It's not a popular size cell. My example here had non-uniform color anodizing. I think that's just a quality control thing that hopefully they will fix in other colors or batches. And mine came with fingerprints on the lens, which again isn't a huge deal. I can easily disassemble and take those off, but you know, it shouldn't come from the factory this way. And there is no lanyard loop on this light. My conclusion is this light is advertised as an EDC, and at least for me, I won't be using it in front jean pockets or pockets at all like that, because that 26650 diameter is just too big, and I don't like the lens up carry with the clip. I could see throwing this light in a jacket pocket though, or a bag, and for those it'd be great. I like that it comes with a wide variety of colors as well. I like that it has minimal branding, only that it says Haikelite in the model on the back there. I wish the 26350 batteries were more widely available because I like that small size that it has. I like that it's available in this small size, and I just like how it feels in the hand when it's in this small, fat configuration. Even in its more longer configuration, I like the size of this light because of its narrow profile. It's really not any thicker than it has to be. And I wish there was a lanyard loop or a way to attach a lanyard onto the light. And overall, it's a pretty nice light if you don't mind a bit of Cree rainbow. As always, I'll have a link in the description below on where you can pick up this light on banggood.com. Please make sure you like the video, subscribe to my channel, and if you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them. Thanks for watching.